Welcome back to the Malted Man Cave. I'm Keith.
I'm Dave, and tonight we're doing a bourbon.
All right, so as Dave said, tonight we're going to be reviewing a bourbon. And actually, we're going to be reviewing a bourbon from a distillery that I actually am very fond of. It actually, Maker's Mark was originally, I think, the first bourbon that I actually sipped neat and actually enjoyed.
Bartender, give me a Maker's Manhattan.
And I actually think, and I did a review before by myself that I have since taken down because it wasn't the most professional. It was legendary, but not professional. So I decided to take it down. But Maker's Mark, I think, is very underrated. I actually really enjoy it. I think even just the regular Maker's Mark is very complex, has a lot of good notes. I don't know why people hate on it so much.
Because it's common.
But I mean,
and it was trendy for a long time.
I mean, Maker's Mark, at least around where I'm from, we're kind of from kind of blue collar area, like a lot of farmers. You know, Maker's Mark was more expensive than like getting, let's see, Jim Beam, just the regular, just any of the other really cheap bourbons you get. So Maker's Mark was a little bit of a step up, but I guess compared to bourbon drinkers, it is a little bit more common and not as expensive. So maybe not as high top shelf, but I love Maker's Mark.
I'm pretty sure in the first season of Mad Men, he like ordered a Maker's Manhattan or something like that.
First
or
season
like
of what?
Mad Men. Something, I remember something from way back then. Ryan started ordering them, and I was like, "What you drinking there, man?"
Because we got in a big Manhattan kick for a while, remember?
Yeah.
And is Maker's the official Manhattan? Is Maker's the original?
I don't know. I had no idea.
Because I've always done Manhattans with Maker's.
Yeah, Maker's Manhattan. I don't know. So I always associated it with like that whole trendy ad man kind of drinking in the middle of the day, having Maker's Manhattan.
We didn't come from money.
we don't know what that is. So I think there was such a pushback because it got popular. It got trendy.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh, it's not even that good of a."
They're so cool with the
wax
dip.
Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna be doing not Maker's Mark the regular, but Maker's Mark Cask Strength. So when I first heard of this, I was super excited to get this, and then we're gonna find out if I was paid off, if it was as good as I thought it was gonna be, and I'll tell you that a little bit at the end. So a little bit more about this. Comes in at 55.8% ABV. The mash bill is right there.
It just jumped.
Obviously not colored, and I'm not sure if this is chill filtered or not. We will put it again right there.
Boop.
Anything else about this before we get into it?
No, I always liked the wax, the dipped in wax.
I think that's why I originally liked it.
Yeah.
And why I tried Maker's first.
Felt kind of like Count of Monte Cristo-ish.
Yeah. What a good movie.
What a good book.
If you need more, I can pour some.
But yeah, correct on the movie. We love that.
Such a good.
Yeah. Guy Pearce as the villain.
Dude, Mercedes is a very underrated, attractive actress. Did you think Mercedes was attractive?
Yeah. Rolling in the Rocks.
Yes. All right, so anything else we want to say about this?
Bottoms up.
So without further ado, let's get into some whiskey. What do you got on the nose, bro?
Oh, man. It's delicious. I was trying to compare it to just a regular Maker's, but I don't think I've ever stuck my nose down into a Maker's before, but with the thought of what am I smelling? Have we done that? No.
I don't know. Like I said, I did it by myself. That was before you were doing reviews with me.
So Keith and I were talking about cheesecake earlier, and it kind of put me in the cheesecake mind, and so I was instantly thinking of like a cherry vanilla cheesecake. Yeah, it's got some creaminess to it.
What is it with bourbons? I get vanilla cheesecake all the time with bourbons. All the time.
It's the creaminess of the charred oak. I put alcohol infused cherry, those chocolate covered juicy cherry things that are too sweet. I don't like them. But it reminds me of the good part of that, the smell. And then, have you ever had the Jelly Belly popcorn, butter popcorn jelly bean?
Oh yeah, totally get it. So you get butter popcorn.
That and mixed, if you take the Dr. Pepper one at the same time, maybe.
Yeah?
I like that. Yeah, so Dr. Pepper, because it's got that caramel, vanilla.
That's good.
Anyways. And then a little bit of a dry erase marker.
This one. This one's got some heat to it, ladies and gentlemen.
Little dry erase marker.
Without ruining a little bit. Like I said, I love Maker's Mark, the regular. I thought, man, if I love Maker's Mark, this is going to be like so much better. But I do have to say, this one is a little bit hotter than I was hoping it to be.
Got some heat.
And I wonder, I feel like that maybe they don't age this quite as long as the regular Maker's Mark. So it's good, but I feel like it could use maybe a touch of water and maybe a little bit more time in the barrel. But you got anything else on the nose before I get on it?
No, you give us that golden schnoz scent.
So again, like you said, I get buttered popcorn,
all day
maraschino
long.
cherries, like caramel.
Is that what
fudge.
I was thinking of? Maraschino cherries?
Yeah, maraschino cherries.
Whatever. Maraschino.
Maraschino.
You know, I get them from the other side of town.
You're dirty chinos. Maraschino.
Italian Village.
Maraschino cherries. Vanilla Coca-Cola.
Ooh, I see you on that.
Vanilla Coca-Cola.
Do you like the Coke machines that you have control of? And
Yes,
you can put,
I love those.
I do too.
And you can add like flavors into it. Yeah. Again, you get all just the sweet corn. You get there is a little dry eraser because it's so intense. It's such a high ABV. We should have brought some water to put a dab on it.
When do we ever put water
Never.
in it? Yeah,
We should start doing that.
I know.
Sara Lee honey wheat bread.
Ooh.
Or just honey,
Yeah.
honey wheat bread. It's very bready.
I almost put. Have you ever had those pretzels? Honey. Is it honey wheat pretzels or
I
honey?
don't think I've ever had
honey
those.
twist. Honey wheat. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah?
Like the.
And then lastly, it just lurking in the background of all this, it's like there's a little bit of like woody, oaky, like almost like you're in a wood shop. It almost smells a little bit. When I did my tour at Buffalo Trace, we went into the Blanton's bottling
Nice
building, and it smelled like that a little bit. It was
That's
like
awesome.
wood mixed with a little bit of the sweetness from the bourbon with some wood. Good stuff. Onto the palate.
Onto the palate. So speaking of those machines, cherry and vanilla in your Coke. That's what I got for my
Yep.
Jelly Belly with heat. This sucker, man.
Definitely some cinnamon and some spice.
Yeah, it's got. I put pepper down just because it's pepper in your mouth. Caramel salted ice
Stings
cream.
the nostrils.
So even though it's got a high ABV, I feel like it really does kind of do the whole coating.
Yeah.
And
I put in my notes like almost like a lozenge, like cough syrup, or
Yeah,
like a
it's like a
lozenge.
thick.
It doesn't. It's got a little bit of that like mentholic-y cough syrup thing, but more like just how it like coats.
Yeah, totally agree with you. on
I'd be
that.
surprised if this was chill filtered.
Yeah.
I think this might actually be non-chill filtered. I hope so. If I can find something on the interwebs, I will put it right
Boop.
there. If I can't find anything, please let us know in the comment sections if you know any better.
Thank you. And then last but not least, I wrote Dr. Pepper with a dash of pepper in it.
Yeah,
Just
a lot of pepper.
A lot of heat on it. It's like you take your Dr.
hot.
Pepper and you live in the car all day out in the hot sun, and then you take a swig of it.
It's like hot cinnamon candies,
Red
powdered
hot.
sugar, red hot candies. But then it's like, imagine red hot candies with all the sweetness and the cinnamon, but then it almost turns like bitter at the end.
Yeah.
It's not quite as sweet at the end that you would get if you're eating that candy. Again, all of a little bit of buttered popcorn, caramel fudge, vanilla Coca-Cola again.
I needed a glass of this before my root canal. I had my first root canal ever.
Not good?
Dude. They
They give you any pain pills or anything?
No.
What is the deal with
Dude, they took away, so dentists.
They're going overboard with the opiate epidemic. I'm glad that we needed to do something. Too many people were dying from heroin and stuff, and a lot of people were getting hooked from painkillers.
Yeah.
Painkillers. Painkillers.
But the pillars of pain
This is my first drink of the night. So
the pillars of pain.
But I feel like with anything, a lot of times you can swing too far to the other end of the pendulum.
Yeah.
And now I work with this as a mental health counselor. I work with this guy. His mother is 84 years old. She's on her deathbed, and they're not giving her pain meds. That's not okay to me. People deserve to die.
Because then you get people that turn to other things that are going to help them. Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
But
he said take some Motrin and call me. So they leave an out.
I mean, I can rips out
no. So a root canal is they carve out all your root, your live tissue, and then they shoot it full of cement.
I would not be doing that.
I don't know
without some Vicodin.
Anyways, my tooth is
you guys
still
give me
there.
some Vicodin. This is not happening.
And it hurt a little bit, but I managed the first day. So, but on the opposite side, we're going way off. My freshman year of college, I never knew this. Looking back on it now, I know what I had. I twisted my ankle and I went to the on-campus clinic. They gave me a bottle of 80 Vicodin for a twisted ankle.
Those were the days.
I got a giant bottle of Vicodin, and it was in my room. And I remember the baseball team, Andrew, those guys, they would just line up and dip into it every day. They would just take out. They'd be like, "Bruns, you care if I have it?" I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Sure, I'm not using it."
So those days needed to end.
Yeah,
but I think we've swung too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember all the notes that I've said so far.
Who cares?
Cinnamon.
It's delicious.
Cinnamon spice.
Oh, the waxing, the
lozenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of the Sara Lee honey wheat bread again, and then there's the slightest hint. It's not very prominent. The slightest hint of milk chocolate. A little bit, slight.
Yeah.
It's not super strong. Yeah. What about the finish?
The finish. So
6 round. Whew.
So that heat stays with you.
For a long time.
It's one of those. There's not
a lot of love you long time.
Hey, it's still there. A lot of times you have a Scottish whiskey and the heat hits you and then the more subtle notes are what carry you out. This carries you out in a frying pan.
I feel like I'm breathing fire.
Yeah, but it's not bad. This would be a great winter warm you up kind of.
Oh yeah, this will warm you up if you need to survive in a tent in the middle of winter.
But
this is your dram.
So that lozenge feel stays, that heat stays. A lot of the more subtle notes do stay. I get more of the cola flavors that we were talking about that stay. But man, that heat.
A little bit of obviously you get some corn notes too on the palate. Sorry, I want to go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, the finish. It's long. Did you say it was long?
Yeah.
It's long. And it's not long like you would think with a scotch or where it's you're getting all these intricate notes.
No.
And it's just staying there. It's all the other notes are there for a second and then it's just cinnamon,
blunt,
spice, fire that lasts for 3 minutes at least.
It's still here.
Yeah. But I do like this. I will say I was a little disappointed with this because I really like Maker's Mark and I thought, oh my gosh, Maker's Mark Cask strength, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I would recommend this to anybody. I would have this on the bar at all times. I love it. I would use it in a Manhattan. I just think it could have used maybe 2 or 3 more years in the barrel. I think that's the only problem with it. To kind of take a little of the rough edge.
I agree. I think Maker's Mark sold themselves short on this, and it could be just like you said, a little more touch, and it could be a fantastic bourbon.
Yeah, the nose is so good.
Yeah.
Especially it opens up with a dash of water on the nose. On the palate, it's still fiery, even if you add some water. But I'm gonna give this a malted man cave mark. When I first reviewed this, like when I first started the channel, I probably would have given this an 86 or an 87. Like, it's a good whiskey and I like it. But I think just because all the things I've had now, and I'm trying to be a little more conservative with my scoring, I think I'm gonna give it an 84 out of 100.
Usually make me go first. I was going to give it an 85. I think it's a great B whiskey.
Yeah.
And
kudos to them for coming out with the Cask strength.
Yeah.
I want to reward them because they came out, like, people were begging them for a long time.
You just said that you would stock this
you're right.
in your bar.
I know, but I want to reward them by giving them even a higher score.
I know.
But I got to be honest.
Come out with something better.
Yeah. Just age it for 2 or 3 more years
and send it to us.
Yes. And we'll give it a 95 out of 100.
Bing, bing. Campaign promises.
On
that note.
On that note, question of the night.
Yeah. So we have been talking a little bit about the candidates and the platforms, and one of the candidates has proposed eliminating student debt. Eliminating student debt, and then also paying for college in the future for most state schools. I think that was private universities would still be private pay. So wanted to get our thoughts on it.
So my initial thoughts as a selfish college grad who still has some college loans.
Pay your dues.
No, I want to be like, yes, please. Please take away all of our debt, please. But then the rational, I don't know, adult in me wants to be like, no one held a gun to my head to make me do that. I chose to go to school. I knew that I had to accrue money and I need to pay it back. So, let me think how I want to say this. Are we saying, reframe the question again. Are you saying that, do I think that we should pay off all college debt?
Yeah.
Because you kind of threw in something about college being free or something at the end there, didn't you?
So they would.
Because that's a whole other.
So they would erase college debt, but then future college goers would have state school paid for, which is how a lot of European countries are.
Absolutely not. And this is why. Because I think that if you do that, you cheapen the degree. I already think that enough damage has been done with online degrees. I was telling him I paid $100,000 to go to a really hard.
Dude, I've been going to Trump University for like 4 years.
To go to a hard liberal arts school, and I got someone that like barely I think they got a GED and they went, and good for them. I'm proud of them that they're going to do that. But it's not. I don't feel like it's fair to me. And online degrees are a little bit easier. You don't have to spend as much time. And I feel like unless you live in our area where I went to school, someone would be like, oh, Keith, that's a good degree. All right, I'm going to probably hire him. But if I tried to apply out in Arizona, they'd be like, you take my degree.
Is that an online school? Yeah.
That's it. University of Phoenix is it, you're thinking.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that they would look at that and be like, where is this?
Yeah, same thing, Cedarville, whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody that has an online degree, it would look just as good. It's a bachelor's degree.
Equal weights when it's not equal weighted.
So, and maybe that's selfish of me, but I do think it's already kind of being cheapened down, and it's more of a business now, the education system. Mm-hmm. I was telling him, yes, if my son or my daughter wants to be a doctor or whatever, you got to go get the four-year degree and then go on to grad school or medical school or whatever. But if they don't have any intention of doing, they're like, I want to be a journalist or I want to psychology or whatever. I'm like, dude, you need to get a 2-year technical degree. Go be a carpenter. Go be an X-ray technician because it's way less time. It's way less debt, and it pays really good. I feel like the job fields are changing, and they're going away from the 4-year liberal arts degree, and all they're doing at these 4-year, they're learning. We got to keep my my opinions in check.
We're stepping into another realm.
About what they're learning at universities these days.
Those delicate snowflakes.
Those snowflakes, man.
Those delicate creatures.
So, is there a little part of me that would love for all debt to go away? Yes. Is there a little part of me that would love to see all of our kids in our society get free school? Yes. I just don't think financially it's feasible because somebody's got to pay for it. I think that it kind of cheapens the degree. I think we need the diversity of some people going to carpenter school, some people going to trade school, some people going to a 4-year degree, some people doing 2-year degrees. I think somehow we got to figure out a way to, and I'm normally not a fan of regulation. I kind of do tend to be a little bit more laissez-faire, but college tuition prices are getting out of hand.
Yeah, you are striking to the core of the issue. When our parents were going to school, we're talking about state schools that were $4,000 a year. Yeah. Okay, it is irresponsible for us to let the institutions, the schools that are making money off of this, but then also it's everything. Why are the textbooks the way they are? Why did we have to pay so much for all of our textbooks? Why were teachers preaching certain texts like you had to get the new edition, stuff like that? I just feel like it's all it's too business motivated. It's not education motivated. It's more of it's run like a business.
It's got out of control.
Yeah, and this is yes.
But do we really think the government's going to step in and do a better job? Have you ever been to the DMV?
So
is that the epitome of efficiency?
Totally agree. We need to fix the causes that have made tuition balloon so high, and figure out a way. I agree with you. I'm going to tell my kids right out of high school, don't go to college. This is my brother's, one of his friends, one of his groomsmen at his wedding. He, instead of going to college right out of high school, he went up to Alaska and became a Jeep tour guide, where he just drove out in the wilderness for a year, taking people on tours.
Yeah.
Do that for a year. Work on a cruise ship for a year. Do something where you figure out yourself, and then go to a trade school or go to something where you've got an interest in.
Or go to a 4-year degree if you specifically have, I want to be a lawyer and I have to do
so this is the other part. This is the other part. People our age are saying, and younger are saying that there's no jobs for us when we get out of school. But the fact of the matter is, these are little delicate snowflakes that are trying to figure out what they want to be.
They want to get paid $50 an hour when they get out of college. And have the same houses that our parents worked for years to get to those nice houses.
So you're a liberal arts major and you majored in theater, and you don't understand why you can't find a job in your small town.
And you need a safe space.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you're a theater major, you need to move to a place that has theater jobs. You can't just complain. Same thing, if you go to school for anything and you are not willing to move. Most of all of my patients from factory jobs, they didn't grow up in Ohio.
They moved here from
Kentucky, moved here for a job.
West Virginia.
They moved here for a job. And our generation,
they don't do that.
They don't do that. You wait for the job to come to you. You're just sitting around.
Entitlement.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So anyways.
So do you
pay your dues?
So but what do you think? I don't think you ever said.
I don't mind.
I know in a perfect world you would like for that to happen.
Yeah, I would love for
Do you really think it can really happen?
No, it can't. In a capitalist society, it can't happen.
Oh no!
Oh, just kidding.
So what are you saying, Dave?
I'm saying absolute monarchy.
Thank you guys for joining us down here in the Malted Man Cave. Please like, subscribe.
Absolute monarchy.
Oh my God.
Keith and Dave. We can co-rule. I think.
Don't put me in your authoritarian shenanigans.
What were we saying earlier
Don't bring
tonight?
me into this.
What
mess.
was I saying? The United Americas.
What?
Where we're just all one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So thank you guys for joining again. Like as I said, please like, subscribe, and as always, remember, Scotch is king,
But bourbon is best.